2006 Toyota Matrix, replacing the exhaust gasket. I think I have an exhaust leak at the point where the exhaust manifold, which is this thing right here, where it connects to the tailpipe. I'll show you that connection underneath there. First, we're going to have to lift the vehicle to be able to get some access under there. Make sure you're in gear and park, and yet your parking brake is on. Also block the rear wheels. Get your jack stands and your floor jack. Looking down under the front of the vehicle, that part that's painted yellow there, yours isn't going to be yellow, but that is your lift point. You can see it's kind of shaped for a floor jack. Get your floor jack right on that part, that lump part there. And that's where we lift from. Once you can get your jack stands in, you're going to line them up with this little area right here between these two notches. And then I like to put a little piece of this in there. Don't put your fingers in between the body and the jack stand just in case it shifts. Same thing on the other side. Once you have both sides on there real well, we'll lower it. Double check your jack stands, make sure they're both where they need to be, and we'll head under. Okay, for reference, there's the oil pan, so that's the right side of the vehicle. And we're just going to pull back here, and we'll see those bolts there. There's one, and there's the other one. And we're going to remove those. Those are a 14mm. I'm going to use this big long extension, 1/2-inch drive. This is a 21-inch extension, but I got a lot of extra on here. You could probably get these with a 1-foot extension. There they are. I'm just not strong enough to turn those by hand, so I had to use an electric impact wrench, and that spun them right out. Next, I was able to just pull back on this exhaust. There's enough flexibility in it. I pull back with one hand, and with the other hand reach in and pull my gasket out. And it looks like that I didn't put this gasket in correctly when I put it in, what was that, about 6 months ago. Here's a closer look at that exhaust gasket under better lighting. I replaced this about 6 months ago, about 2,000 miles ago, when I redid the head gasket and the piston rings and the rod bearings and a bunch of other stuff on this engine. And so I had the exhaust manifold off, and I replaced this, but obviously I didn't replace it right, or maybe my springs are going out because I did not replace the bolts. So I got these new bolts here. They come with the springs. And these are Dorman, and the part number is 675221. Here's the new gasket. This is the same one because this is what I used before. I used this Fel-pro 61106, and this is what it looks like now, but this is what it looked like when it was new. Looking real closely now, it appears that this was able to kind of move back and forth, so maybe it was the springs. Here are the new bolts and springs compared to the old ones. As you can see, they're very similar, and the new one has this shape here, which is nice because it makes it easier to center the bolt. The springs look pretty much identical. These springs actually still feel pretty good, but I will say that the new ones are harder to compress, obviously, than the old ones. Here's the new gasket. The gasket goes in like this, with this rounded shape facing you as you're looking up at the manifold. So the rounded shape goes into this part, and the flat side goes up to mate with the manifold. Let's see if I can slide this in here. I think what I might have done wrong last time was that I think I might not have pulled back this exhaust pipe enough to get this in there really cleanly. I just scooted up a little bit to right here by where this CV axle is, and I can get a better look to make sure that I have it in there evenly. I think what happened last time is I didn't have it in even, so I haven't tacked down those bolts yet, but I just put it in by hand, and I'm going to look real closely and make sure that I do have it in evenly. I'm going to reach the foam back down here from the top and have a look. That looks pretty good there as well. I'm going to try to drive these bolts while I'm back here at this angle, because I can keep a better eye on the gasket to make sure it's going in evenly. Alright, I went back and forth from one to the other evenly, and when that sort of flange part on the bolt contacts the flange on the pipe, that's where it bottoms out and starts to tighten up. Now I'm going to grab my torque wrench, and torque is 32 foot-pounds. Alright, so I got my torque wrench on there, and this is kind of a better angle because I got my feet facing towards the rear of the vehicle, and I can fit my torque wrench here. Obviously I'm going to need my other hand to turn it, but it's kind of a better angle than being on the other side, in my opinion. I can get a much better grip on that torque wrench. Those bolts are torqued down now. Hopefully this solves the exhaust leak.